crafty friends, it's Kelly here with Kelly Crafts It All. So what am I bringing to you today? I thought I would bring you a tutorial for these little spools. It's kind of like a, I don't know, like a little sampler type thing. They hold about 24 inches of ribbon. And they have a little box that they will go into. And the only bad thing is this is a Cricut design space file that I have created, and so I will share the link to that. But each one holds this, and in the file I have a blank one. I have blanks, and then I have one that has the writing on it if you want to use the pen to write with. But it'll hold 4 little spools, and it puts a little bit of little ribbon on there. Like I said, it holds about 24 inches of ribbon. And then we make the little box. And then this little rosette, don't put it up so high on your box because then it makes it hard to open. I should have put mine down here instead of up there. And then it has a little acetate window. So we're going to make that. Like I said, this is a Cricut design space file that I've created. And the little spools were inspired by Nicole's Paper Crafts or Nicole Silhouette on YouTube. I had seen them somewhere on her, either on her Etsy page or on her YouTube page, but on her YouTube site. But I think she had 2, maybe 4 different sizes. I can't remember. It's been a while since I looked at it. And but I'm going to show you how we're going to make the box, and we're going to make the little spools. Now I've already had went and made 3 of my spools. So we're going to do the 4th one together. So in the file, you'll get enough to make 4 spools. And like I said, if you want to make yours bigger or whatever, you go right ahead, get in the design space and do it. So this is the spool setup. So you have 4 plain ones is what I use in this. And you can change it up in design space however you want. I just did double ones to make them a little more sturdy because I'm using the paper that I'm using is this. It's the premium cardstock pinning gear from Walmart. It says it's 110 pounds, but I waver that it is not exactly 110 pounds. It's not that. It might be, I would say more like, I don't know. It's heavy, but it's not real heavy. So that's the paper that I'm using. And then I printed mine out on the same paper. You cut this out of designer series paper. You do you. However you want to do it. Okay, so we have this little spool. And then it will have the box. And it will have the pieces to decorate the box. Or if you want to just cut yours out of designer series paper, you can do that, and then you'll get 1 piece of acetate to cut. You can cut that on your Cricut or cut it by hand, however, you know, whatever suits your fancy. I'm just here to show this to you. So, let's see. What we're going to do first is, what I like to do is glue these 2 little things together. And I'm going to try to come up with, when I have round dies for die cutters, and I'm going to try to do one and show you how you could do it without a Cricut. But I thought I'd show you this one first. Okay, so I'm going to get the glue. And then I'm going to get my little thing. I'm going to line it up as best as I can. So, and I'm going to do this to the other one. So I'm making the top and the bottom of the spool. Then you have this little decorator piece, and you can use this or use whatever you want. You can go in design space, create your own little whatnots. I'm just gonna line this up as best as I can without getting my head in y'all's way. Get to this one here. Dab some of that glue off. It's not using all over. There. So we have those set and ready. Now let those dry. You might want to tuck them up under your mat or maybe lay something on top of them to dry so they don't ripple or wrinkle a little bit. Then you have this little tiny piece and it's already cut and scored. And you're thinking all those little teeny weeny teeth, I'm never going to get them folded. It's very simple. If you just take it and face the score line towards you, lay this down on your table and just bend it, it'll just bend. And then you can go in here now with your fingers and just kind of push them up a little more. And there is a score line down here, but I don't fold it. It's just a line to let me know where to put my glue. And then you can also I take this first, actually before I do that, after I do that, I'll just kind of take this and run this around my finger. Curve it up a little bit. I'm just going to take some glue right there's a little score line. A little much glue. Little projects. A little dab will do ya. There we go. Just gonna let that dry, and then you can just tap those down and they'll fold back out. Well, I just unglued mine. I think I took too much glue off. Only on camera. I put 3 of those together, lickety split. I had no problems, and this one's going to give me a fuss. Alright, I'm going to set that aside. Let that dry for a second. And get that glue off my hands. Then we have this box. Now, I don't have the cut marks in it on the Cricut. You're going to have to cut those, or if I go back in, maybe I'll fix it. But I always hate it because I'll cut wedges out where they don't belong, and then they don't match up. And with Cricut, you have such a fine little line to cut that it really doesn't hurt anything. So I went ahead and scored on all the score lines. And then I'm just going to cut just these side ones up to the first score line there. So you'll do that on both sides. Turn around. Okay. So now if you put it together and you need to cut little wedges out of the sides to make it fit, you're more than welcome to do it. And then we have the decorator pieces here, and you can put these on. I know this one goes here, and then you have these ones here, and I think one of them will end up being on the bottom, so if you don't want to do that one, you don't have to. That's all up to you. And then we have these pieces here, and then this one. Now if you're using directional paper, you might want to pay attention and make sure that you have this one. You have them going the right way. I'm just gonna glue that up. And now if mine's not straight, don't come at me, because I'm trying to do this without putting my head directly over top of it and having it in y'all's way. So, you can get your bone folder and do that, or get your brayer out, whatever, however you want to do it, that's up to you. And then we have this little tiny frame. I'm just going to dab a little a little glue on there. And the glue I am using is the Tight Bond Quick Thick Glue. Get this at Walmart. It is very, I mean, it is super thick. I have to water it down a little bit. Like I said, I am trying to do this without getting my head all in the way, so it's not going to be perfect. So, because when I craft, I'm like right down in my craft. Now I'm just, you know, doing this for a demo for y'all, so you take your time and line your papers up better than I am, and gluing them better than I am. Now, I usually take my time and do it right. And then we have the acetate window that goes on the inside. This piece of tape does not have to be on here for no reason. I just did it so I wouldn't lose it. It's how I keep track of my acetate. I'll take a piece of tape and stick it on my shirt, de-sticky it a little bit, and then, yeah. So that's gonna fit right in there. Whether you want to use like maybe some 1/8 inch double-sided tape, you can do that. I don't have any 1/8 anymore, but I do have this. And then I save the backings off of my vinyl pieces. Not it either. There it is. I will save these backing pieces for my vinyl, or, you know. And this is how I make 1/8 inch tape when I don't have any. I will stick that like so. And then I'll just get my scissors and cut it. This is 1/4 inch, so then I just cut it in half. As best as I can. And then that's how I do it when I don't have any 1/8 inch tape. I had some, and I never really used it much, and it stayed in my little adhesive drawer that I have. I don't know for how long. I'm gonna say I had it probably 5 or 6 years. Well, it just done de-stickied itself. It was so old that it dried up. It would hardly sticky anymore. So I usually just go this route because I don't use 1/8 inch tape very often. When I do shakers and stuff, I either usually build my shakers up with the paper in layers, or I use the double-sided craft foam. But that's how I did my 1/8 inch, and grab my reading tool. I have my acetate here. So that is that. And now when we fold this box up, you're gonna take, okay, well, there's the acetate windows on my left. I'm going to fold this one up and then this one up and leave this where that window is, leave it alone. Put that, and I'll fold it backwards so I don't you know, confuse it. And this is my center one, and then the back, and then here's the front. And I usually do the front last so that it has a nice edge. So now I know that I need to put my two little rectangles they're squares, I mean. Guess geometry wasn't my strong suit. Don't know my shapes. Put that square there. I was looking at that and I just said rectangle. And a square here. And now we're going to, I'm going to add some glue to this tab here, the one next to, not the one with acetate, the one after it. And then I'm going to fold the back one up and glue it. And now if you need to cut little wedges out to line it up straight, you go ahead. Mine seems to be fine. So, what am I doing? Well, I'm gluing the wrong thing. That is not what I was supposed to glue. Nope. This is supposed to go on this. So, just ignore your acetate and that next one. Just ignore that. So, I'm going to put the glue back on here. And we're going to go to the, move it up one. Line your square up. There we go. And then we're going to do the same on the opposite side. Fold that back one up. Now I just have these two here. Now you wouldn't, I guess, have to cover those if you didn't want to. I just did it so when they open the box up, it still looks pretty. And it strengthens the box a little more. Like that. And then these ones are going to go right here. This final one here. Once you get it all cut out, it doesn't take long to really get it together. And now I'm going to glue this again. I'm going to fold that top one down. Like I said, you're going to glue your corners of your paper and, you know, make it nice. Okay, so there is the box. Just, like I said, glue yours better. I've got my papers coming off. Because I didn't glue mine very well. Alright, I'm going to set that aside to dry a little bit before I go trying to close it. It's just making it pop apart. So while we're waiting for that to dry, we'll go back to our little spool. And then just fold those little teeth out. And now we're going to take our glue, and I just put a tiny little bit of glue. Just a little bit right there. And I lay this in there, and I'm usually over top of it without, my head over it, trying to see to line it up. And I just kind of line it up with that hole and flip it over. And I'll stick my pinky finger in there even and get it to line up because my pinky finger fits in there good. Or maybe you have a marker or pen or something that'll fit. And then I just go through and push those little teeth down. And now I'm going to do the same with this one. The glue there, a little wild there. And I'm just going to line that one up and try to line this up, and then try to make sure I keep it in line with the spool under it. And I'm just going to push those teeth if you have like a tool, as of my weeding tool, or you use your bone folder, and I'm just kind of squeezing it together and just using that to go in there and kind of flatten those little teeth down. And that's how the spools are made. So there we have 4 spools in a box. Let's see if this is dry enough now. And it is a tight fit. You might want to take and put it together at the bottom, and then take this top part and kind of wrap it around first and then glue it, because right now mine's super tight. There it goes. Once you get it in there, it's golden. So there's the little box. I'm going to let that dry like that. And now all we got left to do is put a ribbon on here. So I've got some ribbon here. And this is the, well, it says 5mm by 9mm, or 3/8 inch. It's what it holds. It holds this thinner stuff. So then, I just measure off, 2 yards of ribbon, which is 24 inches of ribbon. So put my spool down that end. So I would just measure 1, 2. Doesn't have to be exact, you guys. Put some ribbon on there. And then I'll get a glue dot. Little glue dots. These are the removable ones. I'm just gonna advance this. And then I'll just take and pick this off of here. Like so. And I may even just kind of cut them, or just fold it in half. And just tack it to that ribbon. And now I'm going to get my spool. Lay it on there. You just wrap it up. And you do this, to all your spools, all 4 of them. And with spring and Easter coming up, you could do all kinds of, pretty ribbons. And, if you want to get in Cricut Design Space and resize these things and make it for fatter ribbons, y'all can do that. I just did this because I wanted to send sample ribbon. And I thought, I'm just tired of it, tying it in a knot or wrapping it around a tag. And then so I thought, there's got to be a way to do this. And that's when I seen that from Nicole. And I said, aha. And then on that end again, I'm just going to take a glue dot. Usually I have the ones that are on the Dollar Tree ones that are on the little plastic, and you can cut them in half. So that will hold it. Now, you can leave it like that and be done with it. That's up to you. I'm a little extra. Or if you don't even want to put that glue dot there, you don't have to, because I have a cellophane bag. I get a bunch of these back in swaps and things. And this one, a new one, because I didn't have any old ones. But I cut this at about, I'm going to cut this edge off first, this end off, to make it flat. I'm going to come in probably about, I don't know, maybe a ½ inch. Set that aside. And now I have, you know, a band there of that. And where they're joined up, I just cut that off. Because I don't need that. And then I just take this little band. I'm going to cut it just a hair under a ½ of an inch. It's just a little wide, but it's okay. And then I'll just band it around like so. And you don't have to use the whole thing. Yeah, mine is a little wide, so I would go maybe about an 1/8 inch under a ½ of an inch. That's just a bit wide. Let me see if I open my spool up a little more. No, it doesn't really matter. But anyhow, I would cut it just a hair under the ½ inch. And then, once again, I will have a glue dot. Find that end, stick it there. And then before I stick it all the way down, I'll just come in here and cut it flush with that, and then push it over. And that'll hold your ribbon and keep it pretty. You know, it'll keep it from getting dusty or dirty or whatever. And then you would, like I said, you would do that to all 4 of yours. And those will fit perfectly in that little box. And you close your little box. Like so. And then you, don't mind my acetate, I had wiped it off with rubbing alcohol and it's smeared. And I didn't get it dried in time. And then you can decorate your box however you want. You put bows on it. You can put, like I said, now I put the rosette there, and that was a big mistake because now, like I said, I can't open that lid. Won't open all the way. I mean, it opens enough, but anyhow, that is how I made the spool sampler, spool ribbon sampler. That you can send little samples of ribbon to your, you know, I am in swap, so I use it to send to swap partners and stuff. So I'm sure like the next one will be spring, so I could probably use this for a springtime swap and go get some, get my Easter ribbons out, my spring ribbons out, and put those on there. So there you guys go. This is a Cricut Design Space file. So I will have it linked down below in the description box of where you can get that. So there you guys go. And I hope you enjoyed that. I had a real had fun making this up and had fun putting it together. So, that is it. Until the next one, I'm gonna go and see if I can't get this made for y'all, maybe with some dies or, you know, just hand cutting it or whatever you want to do. I'm gonna try to go that route so that people that don't have a Cricut can do it, or if you're using Silhouette, I don't have a Silhouette file because I don't have Silhouette, so I don't use it. I don't use their programming, and I do not have an SVG. I've tried 1,001 times to make an SVG file, and every time I bring it into any program, it's either way too big or it's way too small, and I just haven't figured out that part. And I'm trying to use Inkspace because it's free, and I don't want to pay a monthly subscription for Adobe Photoshop or whatever it's called, because I think that's ridiculous to have to pay monthly for a service. It's crazy. I want to just buy the program and let it be mine and be done with it. So, yeah. Alright guys, I'm going to get out of here, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Y'all take care. Stay safe out there. Remember, I love each and every one of you. Hit that like and subscribe and share this with a friend if you'd like. And I'll see you again. Bye-bye.